front coming in. Looking at the temperatures, today's quite a bit warmer than it's been over the last week. We got temperatures in the mid 40s up and down the I-5 corridor. East of the Cascades is still below freezing though, 28 degrees out in Spokane, about 24 degrees over in Wenatchee, 27 in Yakima, same in Ellensburg, 30 degrees in Kennewick. Looking at the NAM 3KM, we can see what the next front is going to look like. So rain is going to begin on the coast later tonight around 10 p.m. or so. By about midnight, rain should make it over towards the I-5 corridor. Snow will begin in the mountains, and snow is going to be pretty moderate to heavy in the mountains all night long through the early morning. So thankfully, the heaviest snow is going to fall in the mountains when the least amount of travel is happening. But if you need to go over the mountains early in the morning tomorrow, there's probably going to be some decent snow up in the mountains, and the past conditions are probably not going to be that great. So just make sure and bring your chains with you. Prepare for nasty conditions, possible pass closures like that and stuff whatnot. Over in eastern Washington, there's going to be a bit of a snow shadow in places like Ellensburg, maybe. You get a little bit of snow, but then kind of shadows out. And then places like Spokane are going to get more snow. Looking at the rain totals up and down the I-5 corridor, it looks like Seattle is going to get about 0.3 inches of rain. Same with Tacoma, same with Everett. Up near Arlington, maybe a little bit more rain at about 0.37. Bellingham, 0.19. A little more rain out on the coast, anywhere from a half inch to an inch of rain. Looking at snow totals, this is the NAM 3KM. Thinks that Snoqualmie Pass is going to get anywhere from a half foot to perhaps a little bit more on the upper runs, maybe a foot. Stevens Pass about the same. Out by Spokane can get maybe anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of snow out of this. And then taking a look at the next system that's coming in, we're looking at model trends right here for the European model. I'm going to scroll down just a hair. This is taking into account all the different runs over the past couple days here. But I'm going to start with the 12Z run from 2 days ago. And we're looking at the general overall upper air pattern, how it's trending. And you can see that over the past couple days, this trough that's coming up has kind of trended a little bit further offshore, a little bit further south. But it's a nice deep trough that's going to sit up just to the west of our coast here. And that general position right there on the European model is pretty much in agreement with the GFS model. And the GFS was wanting to have the trough be a little bit more over Washington State, but then over the last couple days, it decided to nod towards the GFS and take it a little bit further offshore. However, the position of the low that is on the European is still a little bit further north than where the GFS has it. By the way, just going to pause to say I hope you guys are all having a great day. Go ahead and let me know in the comments what the weather conditions are like where you are. And if you're liking this weather update, go ahead and give me a like. That also helps me out on YouTube with algorithms and things like that. And if you wouldn't mind, give me a subscribe. That would be awesome so that you guys can keep up with different things like this. So taking a look at the European here, it has that low pressure system just off the coast of Vancouver Island on Friday night into Saturday, and kind of hangs it out up there right off the coast of Vancouver Island through Sunday morning, and then it just kind of dies out and fades away. But it does bring a pretty good amount of snow to the mountains, probably some windy conditions to the coast. We'd also have some decent east winds in the gaps of the Cascades and whatnot. Looking at snow totals on the European real quick. See that there could still be a dusting of snow some places in the lowlands, like Mount Vernon or Bellingham or Everett, but not that much. But the mountains get quite a bit of snow, and this is also taking into account tonight's snow into Thursday. but quite a bit of snow for the mountains, quite a bit of snow for eastern Washington. But the GFS still has that low coming in just a hair further south, even though the trough position is generally the same. Instead of hanging it up right by Vancouver Island, it brings it in just a little bit further south and allows for some snow to fall in some parts of western Washington. And then it hangs it out right there on southwest Washington and lets it die. So it's a slightly different solution than the GFS. Brings a little bit more snow. Sorry, it's a slightly different solution than the European. It brings slightly more snow to the area. Looking at the UW GFS, you can see that it actually brings some accumulating snowfall to places like Everett, maybe an inch or two in South Everett, maybe a dusting in places like Lake Stevens and Arlington, might skimp out there in Marysville, Snohomish, Monroe. Not a widespread snowfall event by any means, but still, regardless, the possibility of more snow. Out there in the Kitsap Peninsula could get some more snow out of this as well, and along Highway 101 on the eastern side of the Olympics. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the GFS here. GFS can tend to be a little bit overzealous in regards to snow. But because that low comes in a little bit further south, it's not necessarily too unbelievable, but it actually starts off over much of the I-5 corridor from Olympia up towards Bellingham on Saturday morning around 1 a.m. as all snow, and then kind of transitions it slowly to rain in some areas. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that. Whereas looking at the European model, it doesn't have it starting off as snow. It just has it as maybe a snow mix for a brief time from about Lake Stevens, Marysville north to the Skagit, Snohomish border. Little bit of a mix around Everett, Lake Stevens. More snow for the mountains, but primarily rain for the lowlands. And then it switches it over to rain for all areas. You can look at the NAM real quick. The NAM actually was showing some snow as well. Go to the most recent run. So there's 10 p.m. Friday night on the NAM, or the NAM. Showing a bit more snow for the area. Switches it over to rain in Seattle, Everett by about 4 a.m., but keeps it as snow up there in Whatcom County, and then switches it back to snow by the early morning into Saturday morning. So that would be interesting right there. Let's take a look at what the snow totals are on the NAM. The NAM actually gives about 4 inches of snow to Seattle, same to Everett. A little higher amounts in the higher elevation, and quite a bit of snow up there to western Whatcom County. So just depending on the track of this low, the track of this low is going to make all the difference. It's not like we have a ton of Arctic air to play with or anything. This would all just be deformation band magic, essentially. And that also comes in maybe slightly further south than the European model towards the Washington coast, enabling it to just drag some colder air down aloft. Okay, I'm going to take a look at your comments here. I don't see too many of them, but thanks for watching, guys. If you like this update, go ahead and give it a like. That would be awesome. That also helps out me here on YouTube, but go ahead and comment what kind of weather you would like to see as well over the next week or so. Code Blue Gal says she's nervous. I'm going to talk about wind. Would much rather have snow. Yeah, the European is still looking reasonably breezy out on the coast, but it seems to be trending away from the big wind threat. Still pretty windy right over the water. Could be on Friday night some wind gust almost towards 70 miles per hour over the water just offshore. If we were to bring that low any further east quicker, could be bigger winds on the coast. But there's still wind gusts possible of around 50 miles per hour in places like La Push and Westport and along the I-5 corridor, not too much. Tonight it's going to get pretty breezy up in the San Juans. Gust up to 50 miles per hour possible over Whidbey Island. Gust up to 40 miles per hour possible. Western Whatcom County, maybe a gust to 35, 37. That's nothing too crazy. But then with Friday, Saturday's event, it's not going to get too nutso. There'll probably be some strong wind out of the gaps, it's looking like. Like maybe North Bend could get like a 50 mile per hour gust out of the gaps, but we'll just have to see. All right, looking at some more of your comments here real quick. Doing great in Camino, no snow. Still snow in Duval. Ooh, man, Ashley says that they lost their main water line the last storm. That's no good. Okay, folks. Well, thanks for hopping on. We'll just have to see how things are looking as we get a little bit closer. Let me know how the quality of this stream looks as well. Got a bit of an upgrade with my internet, so the stream quality should be better than it has been. I was going to try streaming to both Facebook and YouTube to do a test, but again, Facebook was giving me a little bit of issues this afternoon. Also, let me know in the comments if you would like to see more of these live updates on YouTube as well, and I can try to make that happen here. But yeah, thanks for joining on, and I will talk to you guys a little bit later. Just going to throw something up real quick, and then we will roll. But thanks for joining on. Really appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you later.